Ozarks First. You're watching Color 10 News at 10.
I didn't even know the guy, you know. I don't want to be paranoid. I don't want to walk around scared of everybody.
That was Carolyn Moss, a nurse and National Guard soldier here in Springfield. Last Saturday, she went for a jog at McDaniel Park. When she got back to the parking lot, she found this, her car vandalized with feces. Today, police identified an alleged suspect, and it's someone you may have seen in the news recently. Frances Lynn explains.
These were the trails that Caroline Moss was running on last weekend, and when she came back to this parking lot, she found her car vandalized.
My car had feces in the windshield, the doors, handles, and my right side tires, you know, he let out air.
Moss is a black woman from Kenya.
She is a very shy young lady, and I was so impressed and am still in awe of her courage.
Sherry Cocker was a witness.
So I had just come back from my run when I noticed that, you know, there was this young African-American lady and her friend was still, you know, they were hanging around their car and they had this concerned look on their face.
And today, the Springfield Police Department identified John Ruth as the man who they believe vandalized Moss's car. He's the same man accused of pinning Officer Mark Preby with an SUV on Tuesday. Witnesses came forward after seeing his photo. He told police he thought Moss's vehicle was someone else he was angry with.
So I don't think he didn't know. He knew exactly who the person, the owner of the vehicle was.
My car was parked right next to hers, and nothing had happened to my car.
He saw me on Friday and then did that on Saturday. When we came back from the run, he was not there, but he was there Sunday. When he saw me, he drove off. You know, he was suspicious, so I told all that to the police.
This happened on the same day as a Black Lives Matter protest downtown.
If that's his perspective about race and black people and stuff, I can't change it.
She's happy now that he's in custody.
But I'm glad he's caught and he's not going to do that to anybody else.
It's just unfortunate that how we have managed to identify and ultimately charge the person is because of what he did to Officer Preby.
But I'm glad he's away, and he's going to be going away for a very long time.
Ruth is now facing first-degree assault charges for hitting Officer Mike Preby with his SUV.
All right, Frances Lynn with the story tonight. Thank you. Two of the most popular shows on television have been canceled. After more than 30 years, Paramount Network has stopped production on the show Cops, and A&E has pulled Live PD off the air. For more on this, including reaction from those close to the show, our Jesse Inman joins us live in Springfield tonight. Jesse.
Yeah, Heather, as we know, Cops has been a mainstay on television for the last few decades, even featuring some episodes right here in Springfield. Live PD as well. We know they have been featuring some episodes here in Greene County as well, but now neither of those two shows will be doing any more episodes anytime soon amid controversy.
With protests calling for police reform in the wake of George Floyd's death, the producers of Cops have decided to take the show off the air. Some civil rights groups called for the show to be removed, claiming it glorified police and didn't shed any light on issues. Live PD was also taken off the air, and host Dan Abrams shared his feelings with CNN on the decision.
I'm disappointed, frustrated. I fought very hard to try to keep the show on the air. I thought there was a way to have a national discussion on the show about policing.
But circumstances surrounding the 2019 death of Javier Ambler played a large part in the show's recent controversy. Ambler died after being in the custody of Williamson County deputies in Austin, Texas. Live PD got the incident on video, but later destroyed that video after deputies declared the investigation complete, per A&E policy. That left only the body cam footage. Although this case had nothing to do with the Ozarks, many are aware that Greene County was once featured on Live PD. So I reached out to former Greene County Deputy James Craigmile to get his thoughts on what the public may be missing out on now that the show is no longer on the air.
You're going to be missing part of the transparency there, because this was live. This wasn't something that was recorded on a body cam or on a dash cam. This was actually live footage that was broadcasted worldwide. That's something that's going to be missing out now, is the transparency that was broadcasted live to everybody.
He says part of that transparency was to see the human side of police.
Being able to understand how we work and seeing the compassion and the caring side of us and the desire for us to want to help people.
Now, the Greene County Sheriff's Office did not comment today on this matter, but in regards to the current climate of things, I did talk to Craig Mile about that, and he told me that he hopes that people will not let the actions of a few bad police officers speak for the overall good that he believes law enforcement can bring. In Springfield, Jesse and Mid-Ozarks First.
And turning to political coverage now, senators from both Missouri and Arkansas are calling on U.S. Attorney General William Barr to aid local police departments in identifying problems. This is in response to the death of George Floyd while in police custody in Minneapolis. Madison Heber is here with more tonight. Madison, how would the U.S. Attorney General help with this?
Yeah, Heather, these senators are wanting Barr to use two tools available to the Justice Department. And it's important to note these senators are not calling to defund police. Rather, they're hoping the Department of Justice will be able to go in and quickly help by using consent decrees and pattern or practice reviews. Those reviews determine and work to change practices of excessive force or biased policing. Missouri Senator Roy Blunt is among the list of Republican co-sponsors of the resolution.
I think the pattern and practice review provided that assistance. It's not the federal government taking over a police department. It's not the federal government using the courts necessarily. It's the federal government using their expertise to come in and help you figure out how your department would be better. If you've got a systemic problem in your department that has been going on for a long time, that department is unlikely to be able to solve its own problems by itself.
Blunt is joined by Missouri's other Senator Josh Hawley and Arkansas's junior Republican Senator Tom Cotton in sponsorship of the resolution.
All right, Madison, thank you. And Governor Parson is working with community leaders and activists from across the state to address community issues. Today, he met with representatives from the Black Lives Matter movement from across Missouri. Our Chief Capitol Bureau reporter, Emily Manley, has more.
I had the chance to meet with community leaders from Kansas City, St. Louis, and Columbia.
An open table invitation to hear from community leaders and activists.
Well, it was good for me to hear these young activists to really try to figure out what it is that they were, you knew what they were upset about, you know what the protest cause was, but what's the end game?
But not all felt the same way about the meeting inside the State House.
I feel like it was an open table for the conversation. That's as far as actually getting anything done, we have a long way to go.
The meeting with activists from St. Louis and Kansas City discussed racial issues across the state. Parson says the meeting was needed and he looks forward to talking with the group again, but says they might not all see eye to eye.
And there were some issues I want to say that that we're not going to agree on.
Governor Mike Parson also said today that by next Tuesday, the state would be fully reopened. That means no social distancing restrictions to businesses and restaurants and counties. No ordinances currently in place. However, that does not include counties that have stricter rules like the Greene and Christian counties rules that are in place right now. The city of Springfield reminded people on Facebook its order supersedes the state order even when it's lifted. The city will have an announcement on phase 3 tomorrow morning. Next week, local businesses will be allowed 50% occupancy, up from 25%. Governor Parson says the reason for the change is an advancement in COVID-19 testing and hospitals not being overwhelmed. Parson says the state can handle outbreaks, and now is the time to get the economy back on track. Well, we have a warm, sunny weekend ahead of us, but Nixa Fire Department is sharing a message. Do not attempt to float on the river until water levels return to normal. This comes after 2 teenagers' kayaks capsized, leaving one stranded. They did bring cell phones, and rescuers were able to use their coordinates to find and rescue them. Neither teenager was hurt. So, Jamie, I guess the big question is, are we dry now? And, when can we expect those high waters to recede?
Well, it's going to be a gradual process, but we certainly will have the opportunity for water levels to come down because we're not going to be looking at any significant rainfall anytime soon. It will be a beautiful weekend to get out in the Ozarks. You can go to the lake. You can hang out by the pool. You can just hang out in your backyard if you like. Either way, we're looking at mostly dry conditions. I'll have that forecast for you coming up.
And now weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner, certified by WeatherRate for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
It is smooth sailing right now, and that is going to continue into the upcoming weekend. Outside right now, we are looking at cloud-free conditions. There are some clouds off to the west. Some of that's going to probably try to stream in across southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas. I was going to show you the muggy meter, but if you've been outside, you know it feels pretty good out there. And look at the nation as a whole. Remember early this week, we had a lot of different things going on. We had the remnants of Cristobal. We had that potent storm moving through the middle of the country. That's all behind us now. In fact, that's all behind most of the country now. We are looking at pretty quiet weather from coast to coast with little pockets of stormy weather here and there. You see a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity firing up here over western Oklahoma. Looks like that's going to send a little bit of cloudiness our way, as I mentioned, into southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas, but not looking at any rain from that. Right now, we are looking at high pressure at the surface. That's why the winds were so light today, and that's not why the winds are going to stay light overnight tonight and into Friday. Beautiful night. Ongoing right now. We've got starry skies, light winds, low humidity still, and it looks like it's going to be pleasantly cool by tomorrow morning. Now, during the day tomorrow, things are going to heat up, but otherwise, it's not going to be a whole lot different from today. We're still going to be looking at high pressure nearby, so winds are going to stay light. It's going to be a touch more humid, and it's also going to be, I think, noticeably warmer tomorrow afternoon as we find readings getting into the mid to upper 80s. Skies should remain mainly sunny. You see this feature right here. This is just really a wind shift, but there's a cold front to the northeast of it that'll be dropping in over the weekend. And this front, as it pushes southwest, what it will do is it will focus low-level moisture because the winds are going to be converging near that boundary. And as that happens, we're going to find a little bit more humidity here. And we're also going to find maybe a little bit more cloud cover and even the threat of an isolated afternoon shower. But I would say 97, 98% of the area is going to stay rain-free on Saturday. And that's going to be the case on Sunday as well. As that front continues to edge a bit further southwest, there'll be that threat of an isolated afternoon shower. I do think it will be a little bit breezier, and maybe that's good to know if you are planning on doing some fishing or going boating. I think light winds on Saturday, but a bit breezier on Sunday. Temperatures and humidity levels look pretty similar, though, to Saturday. Here's our forecast for overnight tonight. Starry skies, pleasant again, 61 for the low. For tomorrow, we'll find temperatures topping out near 87. Light winds out of the west-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Great weekend, I think, to do some camping. It will not be as hot as last weekend. Maybe not as comfortable as the weekend before, but we don't have to deal with that real summer heat. Looks like we are going to be looking at pleasant nights with lows in the low 60s. And the afternoons are going to be warm, but not out of hand kind of warm. It looks like 86 on Saturday and 85 on Sunday. And I mentioned that isolated shot at a shower both afternoons. Looking ahead to next week, we will continue to find a very quiet weather pattern as it looks like the ridge returns over the weekend, and it will continue to nose northeast into the middle of the country through Monday of next week. I think by the middle of next week, we're going to sort of trim out the northern edge of this ridge, but the ridge itself will still continue to influence our weather, and that means little to no rain in the forecast for the next 7 days. Really, we could probably take that out to 8-9 days from now. Little to no rain, as we are not going to find a whole lot of change in the pattern. What we will find, though, next week is temperatures heading higher after highs in the mid-80s over the weekend. 87 on Monday, near 90 on Tuesday, and here we go with the 90s again. Low 90s Wednesday and Thursday. That should come with a bit more humidity as well, with overnight lows near 70 degrees. So, you know, with that kind of heat coming, that's obviously great if you can be out on the lake or on the pool, but if you've got some outdoor chores you need to get done, maybe try to get them in this weekend and not wait till the heat really builds next week.
Or at least do it in the mornings. And if I remember right, it's been about 5 years since Springfield's hit 100 degrees.
I think it's 2000, I want to say it's 2014. It's 14 or 15. I believe it's 14, though. Yeah, last time we hit 100 degrees. It's been a long time.
It has been.
If we continue to see things dry out, though, I would not be surprised if this summer we see the return of 100-degree heat. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get a Viewers Club winner tonight.
All right. That number tonight is 145-419, or jackpot $900.
All right. Jamie, thank you. Coming up, more COVID-19 exposures in the Greene County area. Also, a new policy for visiting patients in local hospitals. We'll tell you what you need to know before you head to visit your loved one. Now to a COVID-19 update. We have new potential exposures to share with you. 2 COVID-19 positive individuals from the same family visited several locations in Greene County. On June 7th, they visited Walmart in Republic. On June 8th, they visited Walgreens and Price Cutter in Republic. And then on June 9th, visited Price Cutter on National Avenue. Putting crime into focus, a Milo, Missouri woman has been sentenced for her conspiracy to sell meth in exchange for food stamps. 54-year-old Melanie Person was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison. Person was working with Bobby Johnson to accept the SNAP benefit cards and PIN numbers in exchange for meth, according to police. Around the Ozarks, as the voice of the Black Lives Matter movement grows louder, many are looking to support local businesses owned by African Americans. There's been a list of who to support in Springfield circulating on social media. You may have seen it. Cutting Edge is on that list. Owner Seth McCoy says small businesses like his rely on community support. The owner of Moore's Trash Services, James Balls, says the same, and it goes both ways.
You was brought up to treat everybody the same as you want to be treated. If our customers come to us, it's because we are doing a good job and we are treating them like family.
We definitely have gotten a whole lot of new clients that we haven't seen before.
You can watch our digital original story right now on ozarksfirst.com with more. In our Reopening the Ozarks coverage, visitors will be allowed back in Cox Health and Mercy facilities starting tomorrow. At Cox, visitors will be allowed to see most non-COVID-19 patients for 2 consecutive hours per day during visiting hours. Emergency and urgent care patients will be allowed to have 1 visitor for the first and last 30 minutes of treatment, and patients who are at end of life or comfort care will be allowed 2 visitors at a time.
I feel like now, we're at a point with the masking, with things we know, that we want to kind of find some middle ground and allow those patients to have someone with them while they're here at the hospital.
Patients at Mercy Hospital will be allowed 1 visitor per day. That visitor must have their temperature checked before entering and are required to wear a mask. The Missouri Job Center is offering free training for those who are out of work right now. In the Green for Green program, participants can earn 13 certifications for environmental-related careers. And the Missouri Works Together program offers free training and paid work experience to work with those struggling with addiction. Classes begin July 13th and go for a 5-week period. More information for either program can be found at springfieldmo.gov. Garth Brooks will perform a one-night-only concert. This concert will be a live event shown at 300 drive-in theaters across North America. Tickets for the June 27th concert go on sale next Friday. Now, currently, 8 Missouri theaters will be showing the concert, including Sunset Drive-In in Aurora and 66 Drive-In in Carthage.
Makes you earn your beer at the end of the day, put it that way. I like to try and earn it, not just have it.
Take a look at that green in his backyard. We'll check in with Dan Lucy in sports coming up next.